Hello, hockey fans. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is on the air. We're on the air for the next half hour. I'm Kenny Gallagher along with Jerry Burrow. And Jerry, we got a lot going on. It's almost springtime. Spring arrives Wednesday, March 20th, officially. And
officially, all right.
Yeah.
That means college playoffs. It means it's getting to the end of the NHL, starting the Stanley Cup. 3 weeks. Stanley Cup.
The Stanley Cup. Yeah, boy, it'd be nice.
We've met it a few times, haven't we?
Of course, the North Stars went in 81 and 91, lost both times. They were up 2-1 in that 91 series against Pittsburgh.
Right. That last game was not good. That sixth game.
Was it 7 or 8-0 at Met Center?
Yeah.
And they hoisted the cup on Minnesota ice.
And I was up in Boulder, Colorado at that point.
Yeah, boy, that was terrible. But, Minnesota Wild, no, they have a chance to go to the playoffs and win the Stanley Cup.
Woo!
9th place in the West. They got to get to 8th place to make the playoffs.
I thought they played probably their best game of the year, and they lost that game last night.
The Islanders?
Yep.
It was a tough loss.
It was.
Overtime loss. But
Yep. Minnesota kid beat them, and another Minnesota scored for the Islanders, and Parisi, another Minnesota kid, scored for the Wild.
Brock Nelson, the game winner for the Islanders in overtime, and Minnesota Wild, 9th place, 73 games. There's only 9 left. We're taping Monday. We're taping Monday the 18th. They've got a game Tuesday against Colorado. So after the Colorado game, there's only 8 games. But 9th place in the West, 73 games, 34, 30-9, 77 points. Good enough for 9th place in the West, 19th in the league.
No, I was looking at the games left. They Wild, the National Hockey League, put out this thing where they show all the games left with every team, and they got the playoff teams, how many games left. But they put it in red, all the teams that if it stopped today, they would be in the playoff, and in black if they're not. And the Wild only have 1 game left in the black. Every other game is with a playoff team.
Yeah, they've got 9 games remaining, 4 at home, 5 on the road. How are they doing at home? Not good. 15, 15, and 7.
Even, no.
On the road, their record is better at 19, 15, and 2.
I can't believe they're even, at this point, close to being in the playoffs.
What did Boudreau say the other day? That if our home record was where it should be, we'd be battling for a President Cups trophy?
Well...
Really, Bruce?
On
Tampa Bay's got 114 points to our 77.
That's a lot of wins to get up to 114.
Huh?
What is he smoking?
I don't know. Not the good stuff.
Well, hey, Chicago's playing real good right now, and they're only, I think they're only 4 points out from the Wild even.
It's interesting. Chicago is in I don't know if it was the league or the West, but they were in 4th place in goals for. I think it was in the Western Conference. They're 4th place, goals scored, last goals allowed. So there's your difference.
Right.
For the Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks, I still think they make it into the playoffs. Right now, Arizona.
Really?
I do. Arizona, 78 points. Minnesota, 77. And Chicago, where were they?
73.
Yeah.
But they got 2 more games to play to catch up to the Wild. So
right.
And if they win their next 2 games, they are actually tied with the Wild.
There you go, because the Wild have no games in hand. They're actually...
they got more. They played more games than all these teams
Yes.
that are fighting for this last spot or 2.
So we talk about the Wild in a sense that there's desperation. Does Boudreau come back next year? We'll wait and see. Certainly Eric Stahl, his lack of production this year compared to last year is way down. And
he's about 1/2.
I'm just not sold on these Aubergs and Rasks and Reed. And these are guys that aren't going to make us a playoff contender, are they?
I kind of like Ryan Donato.
Well, yeah, he's
He's
young.
been playing pretty good.
And he
22
has.
years old.
Yeah.
And they're giving him. He's playing every game, and you can tell they put him out in the power play.
Yeah.
So, but he shoots the puck. The Wild just, man, you watch them and they try to make that tic-tac-toe play all the time, the perfect play. Just throw that puck at the net and get a rebound.
Yeah.
I mean, messy goals win games.
Did Spurgeon? Did he get player of the game yesterday?
I think
number
yeah,
1 star.
He was by
Yeah,
far.
Yeah,
He's a forward now.
he
Pinches in almost every play
Yeah.
now. The Wild have changed their system where the Brodeen and Spurgeon, they're running in there.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get offense off these D.
And they
But
are.
But those forwards have to watch it because they can get caught in odd man rushes. So the forward has to back up a little bit, go high, and when they do that, because they're going in all the time.
Tampa Bay seems poised to win the President's Cup trophy. They're 55-13-4, 114 points ahead of Boston in the East with 95. Calgary also 95 points. San Jose just a point behind Calgary in the West with 94 points. And then in the East, you've got, again, Tampa Bay, Boston, Toronto, New York Islanders, and Washington, all 91 points. Pittsburgh 6th, 7th, and then is Carolina, and then 8th is Columbus Blue Jackets, rounding out the top 8 for the playoffs. And then Montreal's on the bubble with 81 points.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think right now the Wild they can't contend with these better teams. I mean, even if they get to the playoffs, they're going to play Calgary, which they've had success against, but I don't think that there's going to be a letdown for Calgary if the Wild play them in the opening round. But you never know.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, and I mean they got to play their best. They got to play their best hockey of the year to even come close to making the playoffs. And if they do, like you say, they're going to be probably the last seed team.
I can't think of a team right now that hasn't hoisted a cup when you look at the playoffs, with the exception of Vegas and Arizona. And Vegas came close last year, but St. Louis. St. Louis has never won a Stanley Cup. They've been in the league as long as, when the North Stars got in. Pittsburgh.
Minnesota never won the cup either.
No, we know all about Minnesota, Jerry. But St. Louis, they're more likely to make the playoffs than the Wild. And it'd be nice to see a team that has never hoisted the cup, or one that hasn't done it in, 52 years, like the Toronto Maple Leafs. They have not won a Stanley Cup. I think they've won 11 cups, and they haven't won one since '67. So the fans of Toronto are eager.
Well, if you look at the Western, San Jose never won a cup, Vegas never won a cup, Winnipeg never won a cup, Nashville never won a cup, St. Louis never won a cup. So
San Jose never did?
No. They played to the finals, but never won a cup.
Who did they lose? And they beat Minnesota in the Western Conference Finals, and they went to the Cup. What year was that? They had Jaguar in the nets. They didn't win that. Or did they lose to Ottawa?
No, Ottawa never won a cup either. And the other side, she looks like all these teams have won a cup now. No, yep. Carol, yep.
Who did
Columbus is the only team in the East that has never won a cup. So we got teams on the East that are experienced.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. Like I say all the time, every year, throw away the regular season. Let's get this Stanley Cup going because that's the best hockey in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, once it gets going, it seems like every player is playing different, or they're giving their 110% what they should have done all regular season.
Yeah. So the Wild play Colorado at home, and this is going to wrap up a 5-game homestand. And they'll play Colorado on the 19th, and then they've got a couple of days off. They'll be at Washington on Friday the 22nd, and then at Carolina on Saturday the 23rd. They'll come home to play Nashville on Monday the 25th. They'll be at Vegas on Friday the 29th, and then at Arizona on March 31st. So it's going to be tough.
It is.
It's going to be tough. And, they had Mikko Koivu on the broadcast yesterday in between periods. Anthony LaPanta and Mike Greenlay talked to Mikko, and he's healing, and hopefully he'll be ready for next year, but we'll see.
Yeah. These, if they could hang in there, when Wild go to Arizona, that could be the game of the year for them.
Arizona's injured, too. They got some key injuries.
And look who's their goaltender that's doing good for them. Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
It really is.
Here he fought for his second goal. He didn't know if he was going to be on the team.
Is Miska the backup, or is he in the minors?
I don't know. He's in the minors right
Okay.
now, but they probably have to bring him up a few times just because of some of the injuries during the year, because that's how Kemper got the job.
Yeah.
But then the last game of the season, it can come down to this last game of the season when they go to Dallas, the Wild. I mean, they're so close. I mean,
Well, you look at those 3 games in April: home against Winnipeg and Boston, and then to wrap up the regular season at Dallas on April what is that, the 6th?
right.
And
Well, one good thing I think that happens a lot when you get to the end of the season and the teams like Winnipeg and Boston, they've already clinched their spot and they're not going to improve. If they got any players with nicks or bruises and that, they might rest them. They're not
Sure.
supposed to, but
sure.
don't tell the National Hockey League office that.
You and I were talking about the high school all-star game that took place here in Proctor, the new rink up in Proctor, hosted the St. Luke's all-star hockey game. The gold team beat the white team 7-6.
It was 7-6, okay.
How is this format now? Gold and white. What is that?
I have no idea
Used
how
to be
they
Duluth
pick 'em.
versus the Iron Range.
No, they get teams from players from both sides on.
So are
gold.
there some Duluth Range players playing on the gold and vice
Yep,
versa
I
on the
guess
white?
so. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know the reason for that, but whatever.
Griffin Layett of Denfeld had the game-winning goal in
There you
that
go.
7-6 game, and Gavin Rasmussen of Cloquet-Esco Carlton was the MVP. He had a goal and 3 assists. High school hockey, Dante Lawson of Greenway, a lot of talk about him. You said he did the Let's Play Hockey call.
With his brother that just got on. He was at the game, and they both called the Let's Play Hockey.
Was that the
Dominic?
Was that the Islander game or Rangers?
Yeah.
Islanders.
Islanders, yeah.
Now Dante's up playing for the Wilderness.
Yes, and he scored a goal on his knee. He fell down on his knees. Somehow he got the puck through the defenseman's leg.
It was a great goal.
Did you see that?
I saw the replay.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
I thought.
yeah.
So the kid's small, but he has talent.
Yeah.
I mean, and I was just another thing. I was Bobby Brink that played for Tonka. Man, he might go in the first round. He didn't play for Tonka this year. He left early, and I think he plays down in Sioux City in the USHL.
He would have been a senior this season?
Yeah, and I think they would have won the state tournament again if he was on that team. But he's like Johnny Goodrow. He's
You
small, 160, but I like seeing small players with super skill, and this kid has it.
We've talked about this often. Players that leave high school early. They have that option. Why should they stay? Because they get to play with their buddies and have some
Right.
memories. And so now you've got a player from Minnetonka that you say possibly could have cost Minnetonka a trip
He would have
to the
made a
state
big
playoffs.
difference because he is an offensive force.
But Minnetonka was good,
Right.
strong,
Right.
up to the point of losing in the section finals.
Right.
But a player could make a difference in that game.
It's high school hockey.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how good you are. You get a hot goalie. A lot of teams can upset you when you get to that semifinals.
Well, it's certainly subjective, having that discussion, but it brings up another aspect of these kids leaving early. And
I think another thing, when you win the state championship, what more do you have besides your friends, too? And he's looking at his pro career going ahead
Yeah.
in that college.
Well,
he's going to go to Denver.
you can talk to any NHL player, pro player really, that played in Minnesota, and if they won a championship, or if they got to the championship game, or even a third place game, those memories will be with them.
Right. Rest of their life.
Yeah, maybe even more so than some achievements in the NHL.
And they'll have get-togethers. Every state tournament, you won't believe how many teams come in our 20-year that we played in the state tournament. We never won it, but we get together.
Yeah, it's quite a discussion to have, but
Here's a weird one. Coach Motzko's kid from when Motzko got the job at the Gophers, he brought his kid. He left St. Cloud Cathedral, which was a very good team, and they won the Class A, by the way. First time a St. Cloud team won a...
Motzko's kid was on that team?
Yeah. and
Left
that was a great,
early?
Well, he
Okay.
went to Tonka when they moved down to the cities. He didn't stay up there.
Oh, I see.
So thinking that he's at Tonka, they're going to win, repeat. but St. Cloud wins and Tonka didn't.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is.
And another, let's get to college a little bit. I've never seen in the last few weeks something come up in Twitter and Facebook and that as this penalty called on Gophers in overtime against Notre Dame on Friday night.
Saturday night. I just caught a headline. Give us the details.
But it's in overtime right in the beginning, and the ref calls a penalty, and if you review it, didn't even look like
it has to be conclusive.
It didn't even look like they even touched each other.
To rule one way or the other.
But they gave the Gophers a penalty. And right away...
What were they reviewing?
I have no idea there.
Whether it was a penalty or not?
I don't think they can review it. If they calls it, he calls it.
Okay.
I think it did.
So
he just
upon review, they called a penalty.
There was no review.
Oh, I thought you said they reviewed it.
No.
Okay.
No, there was no review. They just called a penalty that was... Everyone says, even an official from the NCHC says, what the heck? I hope that guy keeps his job.
So it was controversial.
Very much so. Because it caused the Gophers their season, a lot of people thought. Because
Did you see a replay of the alleged penalty?
Yes.
Was it a penalty?
No. No way close.
Okay, gotcha.
I wouldn't call it in a Pee-wee game.
What was the call?
I don't know what the penalty was called.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't hear the sound or they didn't show the ref or anything. They just showed the play and he, and the other player. And
so that cost them the game in overtime. Was it Penn State?
No, it was Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame.
Notre Dame scored on that power play?
And a Minnesota kid scores the overtime goal then. Michael Gardner.
So that won the game?
Yes.
Okay, the controversial penalty cost the Gophers
their
season.
It's still talk on the internet.
Yeah.
Big time, I mean.
Well, that's what's going on with professional sports, even college sports. The thing with professional sports, particularly the NFL, they have the replay, and I've always been critical of it because even after reviewing it, they seem to sometimes still get it wrong. And it just interrupts the game. It's not a part of the game.
You can't start reviewing every time you don't think it was a penalty. You can't do that.
I'm bothered by, oh boy, it didn't look like a penalty, but that's what they called on the ice.
But it's just kind of funny to me.
But you can't eliminate reviews because we're a society now of cameras.
But I think if you're in overtime, the Gophers have to win to get to the NCAA. And to call a penalty that was so soft, that wasn't a penalty, I mean, that just too much.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
And I don't know.
Well, again, some people might say, well, score in the regular, in the regulation and win the game.
There are some St. Cloud people says, score more goals, you don't have to worry about it.
The UMD Bulldogs kind of struggled on Friday night with Omaha. I had to go to overtime.
Yeah, it was a pretty boring game.
Yeah.
They just weren't in it. Perinovich, you can see how much they miss Perinovich.
What's his ailment?
I think they always say upper body. I don't know if it's his back or what.
All right.
It's like the pros now. College is upper body, lower body.
UMD 14-9-1 in NCHC. Overall, the Bulldogs 23-11-2, and they've got to play St. Cloud this weekend.
Maybe. Not right away. If they lose and St. Cloud win the first semifinal game, then they don't play each other.
Oh, okay.
Because what's happening is that I think Duluth will play Denver, and St. Cloud will play the winner of the Colorado College Western game tonight.
Okay.
The winner of that game. But I just the NCHC, I never seen a team do this in a long time. St. Cloud State was undefeated at home. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the league, the parity now, it's getting better and better every year.
Oh, that's why they made that controversial play against UMD. They didn't want to spoil that home record for St. Cloud.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that was a weird review, wasn't it? I never seen that in hockey before
Yeah,
either.
right.
Caller review. And first of all, there's no. I just never understood that one. I'm learning a lot of new stuff in my old days.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But they had the state tournament for all the youth, from Pee-wees, Bantams, and Junior Gold. And I'll call off some of the winners.
Yeah.
In Bantam Double A, these are the top teams that a lot of these kids will be playing. The second year Bantams will be playing for their high schools next year. But Maple Grove Osseo won again. It's 2 years in a row. And they beat Chaska Chanhassen. Now, the Chaska is out in the southwest beyond Eden Prairie. This hockey is getting big out there, man.
Yeah.
Because they're in every, Bantam A, Bantam Double A, Pee Wee Double A.
Yeah.
And so, but when they get done with their Bantams, they split off to, most of the kids will either go to Chaska, Chanhassen, and Holy Family Catholic. If they stood in one place, one team, stayed in one high school, they could have some great teams coming down the line. But you don't know where these kids are going, so.
Okay.
But Edina was third, and Wayzata was fourth, and fifth was Prior Lake. In Bantam A, our Duluth Denfeld team lost their first game, so they went to the consolation, but they won the next two games, and they won the consolation.
Nice.
And I'll tell you what, a lot of these kids will be playing for, I say there'll be 6 or 7 kids that will be playing for Denfeld in high school next year.
Good.
And by the second half of the year, these kids, you'll start watching them.
Nice.
So I think Denfeld second half of the year will be a team to watch. Fourth place was Edina, third was Rogers, and the winning team, a little town way up north where one of their alumni got the winning goal last night, Brock Nelson. So War Road won the championship in Bantam A.
Yeah.
Okay, Pee Wee Double A, EP, Eden Prairie won first place. Woodbury, this Woodbury team, they won last year, the Pee Wee Double A. And their kids, they look like high school kids. They had so many big kids. They played, I saw the Stillwater game with them. These Stillwater kids were up like to their waist, like, it was amazing. But EP beat Woodbury. And then Tonka got third, Edina fourth, and Duluth East was in that, but they're like the high school team, and that they couldn't score in the first game, and they lost in the consolation. Pee Wee A.
Who'd they play?
They played Minnetonka.
Okay.
When they lost, I think it was 5-0.
Ooh.
Then they lost in overtime to Stillwater in the consolation.
Oh, okay.
But hey, congratulations on all these teams for making it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Then Pee Wee A, Orono, number 1, Edina, number 2, East Grand Forks 3, and War Road 4. So,
I wanted to ask you about Duluth East. This Raybold, the goaltender,
Yep.
came in with really hardly any background, if you will, playing goalie. And what's his status?
I don't think he played much Double A at all.
Yeah.
I think he is playing B and A.
So what's his status next year?
I don't know what he's doing.
What grade is he?
He was a senior.
Was he a senior? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 2 years in a row that Tim Cortez is the goalie coach,
Yeah.
the artist.
Yes.
And he's done a great job with these goalies.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking nobodies. And hey, there's games that they don't look good, but overall, for the season, I give him an A+.
Yeah.
What he's done with these goalies over at Duluth East. And, I hope he stays there because he's doing a great job with goalies. And I know Coach Randolph is happy when the goalie stops the puck.
Yes, that makes Coach happy. It always does. Well, again, the UMD Bulldogs, playoff bound. When do they play?
They play Friday, and I think they're the second game. St. Cloud will play the first game.
Okay,
So I think it's 4 at the XL Energy Center and UMD at 7:30. That's the preliminary right now.
Yeah.
So, but they'll know tonight after tonight's game, and they'll have the times and that. You look in the paper tomorrow, they'll have everything, or it'll be on the sports tonight probably.
Minnesota Wild, again, sit in 9th place as of this taping. We're taping Monday, the 19th? Or no, the 18th. Monday the 18th. And 9th place, 77 points, a point behind Arizona. And I don't know, it's going to be... they're going to have to win the majority of their 9 games remaining.
Yeah, someone said before last night's game they had to win 8 out of the next 11, they thought.
Okay.
And so they tied. So that's 16 points they're thinking.
You know, when you stop and look at it, the New York Islanders are a good hockey team.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're 91 points. Again, a 3-way tie, Toronto, Islanders, Washington. And, you know, the Wild just didn't find a way to win that game in overtime, which, what is their overtime record? I think they're 1-4, or 1-4 in shootouts.
And they're not that good, and they've never been good on 3-on-3s either.
They sure haven't, Chair. There's not really a stat that shows that.
You can find out.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a stat, but you have to go on.
Would you find that for me?
Yes, I will. Next week we're going to have that.
Good. Because you're right. They don't do well in overtimes, and in shootouts they're 1-4.
And I might go back a couple of years just to see, make a point that it's just not this year.
There you go. Final moments. The Minnesota Hockey Connection is filmed, taped in the PACT-TV studio in downtown Duluth in City Hall. We want to thank the staff at PACT-TV. Find us on Facebook and like us there. Go to our website. Check out the website. Jerry does a good job on that. And, of course, our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. So, Jerry, final thoughts?
Well, it's another year of high school just down, and now we got the college playoffs, and the regions will start after 2 weeks from now. The 4 regions for the championship out in Buffalo from 4 weeks from now.
Yeah. Well, let's hope the Bulldogs can make a push. And
again.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been to the finals 2 years in a row. Let's do it 3 years in a row.
Where is the D1 championship? Where is it held?
Buffalo.
In Buffalo.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then it goes to Detroit, Pittsburgh, Boston.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll be back here next week to drop the puck. We'll see you then.
Yeah. See you at the rink.